Pet Trustee sponsors Let's Talk About Animals, hosted by Jewel.
Today I am so excited about, of course I'm always excited about our shows, but particularly today I'm delighted to have two of my very good friends, new friends, that I have met recently and have just been absolutely taken away by what they do for horses. And so welcome today, Richard Rubin, and also Sharon Rubin Levine, and they are co-owners in a wonderful place which is called the Baiting Hollow Farm Vineyard, and now Rescue Horses, a new addition. So I'm going to back up just a little bit and tell them how we met, which was incredible, because we had gone to another horse rescue event, which was out in for Amaryllis, and of all things, you are there behind a table serving your wine from your vineyard at another rescue organization. And I was just smitten by this. I thought, how can anybody be that dedicated to the cause that they wouldn't be raising money for their own horses? They're even out there raising money for other rescue organizations. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Richard, tell us about the start of the vineyard, and then we'll move into the rescue.
Well, the vineyard was on a piece of property that our family had owned for countless years. Actually, my father, Sam Rubin, had always been a lifelong naturalist, always enjoying tilling the soil, and organically, by the way. For many years when we were younger, we were very accustomed to his going away to upstate New York or to Vermont, wherever he had land, because he always seemed to have land. He enjoyed it so very much, and he never did it commercially. He just did it for enjoyment, and also so that he could provide organic produce and fruit and vegetables, you know, and just give it away to friends and family. And we always adored that in him, and of course we enjoyed the fruits and vegetables very much. So over time, he felt that you know, so much driving in the car just wasn't productive, and he couldn't get any of the family members to be a part of what he was experiencing. So I think he was disappointed in that. So he decided that it would be really nice to purchase some land on Long Island, which is where our family has always lived.
And that's in Baiting Hollow.
It's
right?
in Baiting Hollow, and it was a fairly small parcel at the time. And he started just as he had in the past, you know, just tilling the soil and just working to do that, only using natural ingredients, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later on. And put in fruits and vegetables, and we had very local access to it, and we started to gravitate towards the property ourselves. And so he was real thrilled with that, because not only, he wasn't doing it just in a vacuum. And over time, it ended up that he had an idea of both acquiring additional land and starting to plant grapes, which was something that was emerging over time. And this is back probably about 1997 that he decided to put in a first half acre of Merlot.
Wow.
And we were kind of excited about that. It was sort of a hobby at that point in time. And then the opportunity came in to purchase land to the north and to the east, and I started to get involved with him, and it started to turn into a hobby, into something that had the makings of a business venture. So it became the classic case of be careful what you wish for, you know?
Right.
Because as this started to emerge, it became, along with it became a very distinct amount of responsibilities as we started to lay in place some sort of approach in the way of a commercial model.
Well, when you have wine that tastes that good, you have to share it with other people. Can't hoard it all for your family. It's fabulous.
It's funny because initially in 1997, when the first plantings took place, it took about 5 years before we got good enough quality fruit, which is very typical when planting red grapes, you know, to make red wine. good enough quality grapes to be able to actually think in terms of making some wine. And so we did that in 2002, just a small amount because we only had the half acre at the time. And we weren't even licensed to sell it. So all we did was we made bottles and bottles of wine, and we gave it away to friends and family. We were very popular at the time, as you can imagine. Yeah, and then that gave rise to the additional plantings starting to come in, and then we really had the, you know, a tiger by the tail.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it was really great. And to this day, this natural approach is used wherever we can use it in the context of our vineyard operation. So for example, we only use natural fertilizers. We don't use chemical fertilizers in the vineyard. In fact, we're going to talk about our rescue horses, and they're the donors. So it's quid pro quo.
True recycling.
Yeah,
This is the way it is.
Yeah, it's quid pro
fabulous.
quo. They actually give back to us, and it's one of the underpinnings, we think, of our very, very good tasting wine. We also don't use any herbicides. We don't use chemicals to control the weeds. So if you come to Baiting Hollow Farm Vineyard, you'll see lots of weeds growing around our vines, because if anyone has ever had the experience of actually tilling their own soil in their backyard and trying to have a vegetable garden or whatever they might be planting, if you're doing it organically, you know by the time you finish your weeding, you have to start all over again. So you'll see that, you know, throughout the vineyard. It's kind of a good sign. And we think that these practices, and we know that they show up in the taste of the wine. I'm always tentative to say when I talk about the horses donating the manure for use in the vineyard, about saying that it shows up in the wine, because people think, oh. But it really does. It makes a really quality product. So we've been very pleased with the progress and the very large array of wines that we have. A couple of which in particular we'll get to talk about today, which I'm excited. It's linked up to the horse rescue operation.
It's really great. And you know, we have a little segment, and then Sharon, I want you to talk about the rescue and a little bit more about this of being out at Baiting Hollow, and hopefully we can show that now.
Now we're going to go meet Lola. Okay. Great.
You see the baby?
Oh, how many days now?
She was a week on Saturday. They're going to come towards us.
Hi. Hello. Are you taking care of baby? Yeah. Hi, Lola.
of you here now, and we would like to talk about that. But before we come to Sharon, and I want you to talk more about this, how this got to you in your heart and starting the rescue, I want to talk about how we first met, and we were there at the Amaryllis thing, and both of you were working, rolling up your sleeves, and so unlike owners of vineyards and everything, that they're helping another rescue, which is Amaryllis. And then from there, I said, my goodness, this wine tastes so wonderful. I need to know these people socially. So
Thank you.
that was what happened.
We really enjoy rolling up our sleeves and being part of these types of things because we're so passionate about both things that we're doing, and we're so very fortunate to be able to do both. We think that the wine we're producing is fantastic, and we love sharing it with the world. But more importantly, that particular evening was to just show that, you know, horse rescues should be supporting each other. There shouldn't be any competition in the rescue field. And we wanted to come out and show our support for Christine and Amaryllis and the wonderful work that they do. Unfortunately, there's a need for so very, very many horse rescues because there are 100,000 horses a year, American horses alone, that go to slaughter. Now, to do the math, that's 1 every 5 minutes. So there is a need for many, many horse rescues, and there are many occasions where we do work together and there's a network of people just calling each other and just trying to get some homes. You saw in that clip the 3 miniature horses. Now Lola is a new addition, of course. She was just born actually a few days before you came.
In fact, I want to insert that because that was the day of our party, and that morning was the day that Lola was born. And it was so cute because Richard was going around our party with his little iPhone and he's showing everybody, this is Lola, this is her birth, and it was so absolutely precious. That's when I knew we had to have you on the show because you were like a proud father. And then we go the next day and we come and come to actually at the Vineyard, and there are signs up, it's a girl.
Yes.
And I want you to tell the clip on that. That was so funny about what
so
actually
cute.
happened that morning.
Oh, it was really funny because our trainer boards with us, and he's always the first one there in the morning. He goes in very, very early. And he called and tried to get the point across to me over the phone that he had a surprise for me because Lola was not due for another month.
And he doesn't speak English,
He
right?
does not speak English, so he got the point across that the baby had been born. And I said, is it a male or a female? And he said, male. So I called up my sister because I had a party starting at the Vineyard very early, and I said, I have to get out there. You run to the store and you get all the blue balloons and the It's a Boy signs. And she ran over to do that. And I get out there and I looked at her and I said, it's a girl. So I called my sister back. She was already in the store. She'd already purchased everything. And I said, change everything to pink because it's a girl.
And the reason was, Richard?
Well, our trainer is Spanish and has a bit of an accent. And he was trying to say mare as a female, as in a female, mare as in a female horse, and it somehow came out male. We don't know, or it was at least heard that way, you know, cell phones over the phone. So yeah, we had to swap out for pink balloons and everything, but quite a day.
Yeah,
it was
really
really great
special. Very special
celebration.
experience.
And for us, it's not just that we feel like proud parents. It also underscores so greatly the whole horse rescue endeavor and what it's about. We feel it brings life to it in the sense that the mom, Jojo, this gorgeous little miniature horse, was in a kill pen when we rescued her a little bit more than a year ago. And can you imagine, not only is she celebrating her life now, but the life of her little baby. So this was more than just a birthday celebration. You know, for us, it was just an opportunity to help show the face of horse rescue. We're very, very fortunate. A lot of the horse rescue organizations that we talk about, in fact, most of them, are rather obscure. We have a chance to